James Bond is back on the big screen tonight with the opening of his latest film SPECTRE, starring Daniel Craig as 007. But how do the real intelligence officers in MI6 do their jobs? And what's it like to spend your career leading a double life? Our security correspondent Frank Gardner managed to secure a rare interview with two serving intelligence officers. The footage we're about to show you has been screened by them to make sure their identities are not revealed.
The threats, we're told, are numerous and complex, from violent extremism to ballistic missiles, nuclear proliferation and cyber espionage. Stealing the secrets of countries and organizations that could threaten Britain is the job of the Secret Intelligence Service, better known as MI6. It's famous for being the home of James Bond.
James.
But this cinematic image of Britain's most celebrated spy is, of course, misleading.
You've got a secret. Something you can't tell anyone.
Disappointingly to many, it's not what Her Majesty's Secret Intelligence Service actually does. So how do we separate fact from fiction here? In order to help us do this, we've managed to secure an exclusive interview with two serving intelligence officers from inside MI6. In order to persuade them to come out of the shadows, we've had to agree to disguise both their faces and their voices. Kamel is an officer in his 30s, and Kirsty, an officer in her 40s. At least, those are the names they gave us.
We all come from a variety of backgrounds, and when we join the service, we sign up to live in a life not telling people where we actually work. Most people live that cover story for the rest of their career.
What does the job of a modern-day MI6 intelligence officer entail?
The first step is establishing what questions we need answers to, and that's about speaking to ministers and individuals in Whitehall whose job it is to ensure that the UK remains safe. Then the job is to target the people with access to the secret intelligence, to approach them securely, and then I obtain the secrets for the benefit of the UK. One thing I've constantly seen throughout my career is that people recognise that the UK is a force for good in the world.
Well,
and that
I have to interrupt. I mean, mostly, not always.
Sure. The thing that underpins all of this is that these individuals willingly enter into a relationship passing intelligence to the United Kingdom, and their reasons for doing so are down to their circumstances.
Presumably, you can't be expected to keep it completely to yourself if you work for MI6, so who can you tell and how much can you tell them?
We are permitted to tell our closest family members, so our parents and our partners.
And how much can you tell them?
We can tell them where we work, but any of our operational detail we would refrain from telling anyone.
There are some people who think that MI6 operates outside the law. It's almost like a sort of rogue agency. What reassurance could you give people that it operates within the law?
Everything that we do must adhere to UK law.
Tonight, MI6 has given just a glimpse of the secrets contained within its walls. It's now likely to withdraw once more into the shadows.
And Frank is here. A glimpse, you say, but how much more of an insight does that give us?
Well, one of the things that came out of that, which obviously we filmed a lot more than what was shown there, was the kind of Chinese wall that exists between different divisions within MI6. Although obviously they cooperate within themselves, if you remember the whole Iraq debacle, and that was a really sort of black period, I think, for MI6. It's taken them years to recover their reputation from that, because the whole dodgy dossier thing, what happened there was that they gathered intelligence from a source that they thought was probably credible. It wasn't properly assessed. It turned out to be duff. So what they've done since is to put in checks and balances to make sure that the people gathering the information from the agents who pass it up the line, it's then independently checked by people who are really rigorous at making sure they don't make those kind of mistakes again. So that was interesting. I also got a little bit of a hint about the whole bravery thing. I would say, actually, that the agents, the secret agents who they recruit, are the really brave people. I mean, I'm not suggesting that MI6 officers don't, do brave things and possibly sometimes make mistakes as well. But it's the people that they recruit, that they persuade to risk their lives against in very dangerous countries and places that are, I think, probably extremely brave, and they insist that they're looked after. Of course, we never know who these people are or where they are.
Frank, thank you. And as we've heard, the fictional incarnation of the British spy James Bond attended the world premiere of his latest film tonight. Daniel Craig's 007 was joined on the red carpet by his co-stars, including Monica Bellucci, who at 51 is the oldest woman ever to be cast as a Bond girl.